you want to be doing constant user testings. Every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, you want to be testing your app with 4 to 6 users. And something we realized was that this 5 minutes was a cutting off point. If we got their cube from unsolved to solve in their hand within 5 minutes, they were blown away. They couldn't believe it and they wanted to keep doing it again and again.
Mm.
And this 5 minutes was something that we reinforced with further data analysis over time. Modern data analysis tools, they can let you see, how quickly people do stuff. And we were seeing consistently if a first-time user gets on the app and solves a cube under 5 minutes, they become a paying customer.
Were you actively looking for new users, or were you just getting downloads and using those as user testing?
The first thing we did, obviously, just test their friends and family, just to make sure the functionality is working. We did that for like a month. And then afterwards, it was posting on Facebook groups, posting anywhere that there was like a Rubik's Cube themed message board. It was posting there saying, "Hey, I have this app, it does this. Do you want to test it for free? Oh, and then we also offer a Rubik's Cube. We'll send you a nice Rubik's Cube if you test it for us."
What?
So to them, it's awesome. They get to try this new
Yeah.
app, and with Amazon, it only costs us like $12 a test. So, like, if you can find things to do that, people love free stuff. So it's a great way to get testers in for basically free, because otherwise it's gonna be very expensive to, like, pay for people to test for your app.
Were you just watching them use it? Were you using Smart
Mhm.
Look? How did you get that data back?
It was during the pandemic when we started, and we would make them join a Zoom call with their phone and a webcam. And we'd force them to sit far enough from the webcam so that we could see what they were doing with their hands and the cube in their phone, and also we could broadcast what was on their phone. And then we were recording the whole thing so we could get like a completely holistic view of how they were interacting with like app and their cube and like what they were doing with their hand. That you can't replicate in-person testing, but that was
Mhm.
80% of the way there.
I think a lot of people skip over there. What made you wanna be like a maniac about this, Nico?
Create, let's say the best product that exists for something solves it 70% of the time. If you get something that does it 80% of the time, you're not just like that 10% better, you're almost like 2x better. It almost like
Mhm.
amplifies your growth. Like, so becoming amazingly good at one specific thing is much more valuable than being average at like a lot of. For 6 months, our only goal was as many users solving a cube in 5 minutes. So we had more of a traditional onboarding. We found it didn't do anything. It didn't make people more sticky. So we cut out a lot of fluff. And like our only goal was solve this cube that's in the user's hands in under 5 minutes. So we got rid of everything that didn't do that and we kept everything that did.
Wow, that's amazing. Why you decided to do this video? So was it because
Totally.
more of like you learned that, hey, you got to teach them a little bit too, or was it
So
the audience?
there's
Yeah.
so there's two things. Okay, so first thing was we didn't want to go straight to the scanner because basically when you go from that front homepage to the scanner, we would immediately ask for their camera, permission for their camera. And we saw 20% of people were rejecting it. They're like, "You're solving my cube. Why do you need my camera?" So we
Hmm.
needed some form of page that was like, "Hey, we're going to be using your camera so that we can scan it." Then what we also noticed was that people were not really rotating the cubes correctly, mostly the younger audience. So we basically combined those two things into, okay, let's just create a video that shows them how it's going to be scanned. So it served this dual purpose for us. And we saw conversion go much higher because then they had seen what they were supposed to do. So they had the expectations set and it made them excited to share their camera. So we were seeing much higher opt-in rates for the camera.
How have you been able to drive downloads?
So 4 years ago, I stumbled along an ASO playlist by the name of created by someone named Steve Young.
Who's
And
this guy?
I basically just watched that 5 times. And then basically we've never paid for any downloads. They've all been organic through ASO.
Wow.
The biggest turning wheel for us, going back to that like 5 minutes thing, was when we started asking for ratings right after they solved their cube. At the beginning, we were probably getting like 10 reviews a week. And then after we shortened the period, got 80% conversion, and started asking for reviews right after they solved their cube, we were starting to see something crazy like 55 stars a day. And then we just really started to see us, along with the ASO efforts, just climbing all the rankings.
Nico's got close to 53,000 ratings on just Apple alone, in just US alone as well, because Apple likes to do it by country. And that
Mhm.
when UI, Sarah says, are a lot of people searching for this in the App Store, or did you use other channels to drive awareness?
No, there's a lot of people.
Yeah, there is.
I used one of those. ASO companies that Steve recommended that lets you look at search traffic by keyword phrase. And I think Rubik's Cube and Rubik's Cube Solver are one of the higher
Mhm.
trafficked uh, search terms. So that was also very validating when I started out to make sure that there was a lot of people searching for it, which I think everyone should do at the beginning. Something someone once told me, which I think makes sense, is you should be talking to your customers until you are not learning anything else new in these meetings.
Yeah.
If you're still learning new stuff talking to customers, it means you have not fully grasped the landscape of the people that want to purchase your thing. You do get some crazy meetings that you would never have expected.
George, this was your question. How do you convince people to chat and promise exchange with
Mhm,
you? Nico gives them away something that they want. A Rubik's Cube, a really awesome Rubik's Cube. Affiliate marketing, right? If there's a physical product, you can promote that on here.
mhm.
I mean, I know you want to keep this clean, but it has worked for other clients. If just an Amazon link, and then
Look,
you get
it's
percentage.
literally right there. Hit that
Right.
give feedback button,
Okay. Oh, nice.
and
Okay,
now we
this
give
is
them the
awesome.
option for an Amazon gift card also. It works really well.
All right, I gotta take screenshots because I love this stuff. When I love it, when you see me taking screenshots, it's because I love it. All right, what is your
Mhm.
age group? Man, bro, one more year for this age group. Oh my god, this is so cool. George, come on, you can do this right now. All right, I won't show your Calendly link, but that's awesome.
Yeah.
Beautiful, dude.
Mhm.
There's the Calendly link. I love it. There you go, George. That's it,
Also,
huh?
that
That's how
give
you they do the calls, huh, Nico?
yeah. And honestly, also the give feedback is good practice
Nice.
because sometimes people get upset, and being able to give feedback in person versus through ratings or reviews is very nice.
Love it.